Hello, and welcome to Overlooked Headlines. We're the podcast designed to share headlines from America and around the world that have been disregarded or overlooked, but are critical to our lives and well-being. It's our mission to inform with the headlines and then inspire through biblical words, which we call His Lines, that once heard and applied will help to strengthen our faith in God as we navigate this journey called life. Now, here's the host of Overlooked Headlines, Jeff Bass.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Overlooked Headlines. I'm Jeff Bass. Here's our headline breakdown. Unusual amount of earthquakes are shaking the nation. LG washers and other appliances sell your personal data. And our top headline is LinkedIn co-founder predicts 9-to-5 jobs will cease to exist by 2034. And as always, we close with his lines. Here's our first headline. Unusual amount of earthquakes are shaking the nation. It is getting very difficult to ignore all of the shaking that is going on. Over the past few months, there have been very unusual earthquakes all over the United States. Is all of this unusual seismic activity building up to something? If so, what does that mean for all of us? Well, last Tuesday night, a magnitude 5.2 earthquake that shook Southern California made headlines all over the nation. An earthquake northwest of Los Angeles shook a large swath of Southern California that Tuesday night, but there were no immediate reports of damage. The U.S. Geological Survey said the 5.2 magnitude tremor struck at 9:09 p.m. and was centered near Mettler, an unincorporated area in Kern County, about 85 miles from downtown LA. Subsequently, there have been more than 200 aftershocks in that same region, and there have been more than 277 aftershocks to Tuesday's magnitude 5.2 earthquake in Southern California. 2 with a magnitude 4.0 or greater. But the likelihood of another larger shock is still low, the U.S. Geological Survey said. Seeing a lot of these smaller events that slow over time is very normal, said Oli Cavan, a research geophysicist with USGS. Hopefully things will settle down soon, but it is just a matter of time before the earthquakes return. For more than a decade, I have been specifically warning about what will happen to the state of California when the big one finally strikes, he says. Scientists assure us that the big one is overdue and the damage that it will cause will be off the charts. California is known for earthquakes, but we are also seeing significant shaking in areas of the country that are not known for earthquakes. For example, the state of New Jersey has been shaken by more than 200, that's right, 200 earthquakes over the past 3 months. It's not known for being a hotspot for earthquakes, but New Jersey has been rattled by more than 200 tremors in the past 3 months. In the middle of the country, a magnitude 2.9 earthquake was just recorded directly under Lake Michigan. As an earthquake nut, he goes on to say, I thought I had seen it all. And Earthquake Friday proves that I still haven't. The USGS has confirmed there was an earthquake under Lake Michigan Friday, which was felt by many in the state of Wisconsin. We will want to keep a very close eye on any seismic activity around the Great Lakes, because it could, and I say again, it could have very serious implications for the city of Chicago at some point in the future. Meanwhile, so many earthquakes have been happening even in one county in the state of Texas. As a matter of fact, a state of emergency was formally declared. So many earthquakes have struck the West Texas county of Scurry in the past week, more than 100 at last count. Local officials have declared a state of emergency. We'll keep watching that earthquake situation. And now, our second headline: LG washers and other appliances sell your personal data. LG, which stands for Life's Good products, are selling customers private and personal data, something that purchasers cannot opt out of or they cannot use the products. Customers are increasingly becoming aware of the issues surrounding LG's smart products, as earlier this year, some customers started noticing their LG appliances were consuming huge amounts of Wi-Fi data. One user posted on social media his LG washing machine was using 3.66 gigabytes of data daily, Tom's Hardware reported. But now consumers are starting to realize LG's devices are collecting and selling all sorts of personal and private information. And there is no way to get out of it unless people stop using the appliances altogether. Tech repairman and right to repair advocate Louis Rossman highlighted this in a recent video after one of his viewers provided screenshots of the new updates to the terms and conditions. Customers are not being given the option to decline, but are forced to accept via the connected app. LG notes in its terms of service, however, that the company can sell this data to third-party marketers and firms. Furthermore, for LG's smart vacuum cleaners, the company states they collect images and drawings, maps, cleaning reservation information, clearing history, cleaning diary, and video list information. However, this carries over if customers accept the terms of the agreement for other devices. In other words, if a customer accepts the terms and conditions to use their connected washing machine, then that also carries over into LG products connected to the app. Moreover, in the case of LG's smart televisions, the company will collect info on the device's feature settings, content recommendation list ID, and content ID. In other words, LG knows what the person is watching, when they're watching it, and for how long. Rossman reminded viewers of a story several years ago when a certified Apple repairman found a sex tape on the customer's phone and then uploaded it to the person's social media page after the repair person logged into the customer's account. This is why devices collecting all this very personal data is very dangerous. Stay where you are. I've got more overlooked headlines.
Still to come, our top headline. And don't miss his lines right here on Overlooked Headlines.
Now, here's our top headline. LinkedIn co-founder predicts 9-to-5 jobs will cease to exist by 2034. This report is by NDTV. The co-founder of LinkedIn, Reid Hoffman, has gone viral on the internet with his prediction that typical 9-to-5 jobs will no longer exist by the year 2034. In a newly released video clip, Mr. Hoffman gives an explanation of how he sees AI strongly disrupting today's workforce, eliminating traditional job arrangements. He feels that the future worker may not be necessarily employed, but rather participate in the gig economy. It means you would be working with various companies in multiple sectors under contract. Compared to the more traditional positions, this way could mean lesser job security, even if it does give you greater flexibility and more options. Neil Taparia, an entrepreneur, shared Mr. Hoffman's video and pointed out his record of predictions that have come to pass. In his post, Taparia also highlighted that Mr. Hoffman had envisioned the revolution of social media, the sharing economy, and AI way back in 1997, a couple of decades before the arrival of ChatGPT. He mentioned that the speed at which AI has grown is incredible and a bit unsettling. Within a few days of ChatGPT hitting the market, millions of jobs across the world became irrelevant, and several companies started training their employees to work with AI technologies. Taparia also noted that at some future point, freelancers would make considerably more than permanent employees and that resumes could be out of fashion. Hoffman's insights reflect a broader trend toward changes in employment structures driven by technological advancement. We're going to make sure we definitely watch this story. Don't move. His lines are coming up.
Hey, if you're enjoying this episode, then we'll think you'll love connecting with us on our social media platforms as well, because we post frequent news bites, tips, and alerts to keep you informed and inspired. Now, let's get back to more overlooked headlines with Jeff Bass.
Now it's time for His Lines, where we take a closer look at these headlines from a biblical perspective, taken from the Bible, God's Word. Recently, we've seen quite a few articles on invasion of our privacy. However, I want to share two aspects of privacy from a biblical perspective. First, privacy is an attribute of God. Why? Well, God owns secrets and created humanity in secret. What do you mean? Well, let's go to Deuteronomy 29:29. It says, "There are secrets the Lord your God has not revealed to us, but these words that he has revealed are for us and our children to obey forever." Also, Psalms 139:15 reads, "My frame was not hidden from you when I was being made in secret, intricately woven into the depths of the earth." Secondly, godly privacy is a sign of Christian love and respect. The Bible teaches us that Christians should protect any personal information that others share with them, and that doing so is a sign of Christian love and respect. Proverbs 20:19 reads, "He who goes about as a slanderer reveals secrets. Therefore, do not associate with a gossip." And finally, Proverbs 25:9 and 10 declares, "When arguing with your neighbor, don't betray another person's secret. Others may accuse you of gossip, and you will never regain your good reputation." So, even though there are those in the world who may spy on us and invade our privacy, let us not be like those in the world. We must keep secrets and private information that is shared with us. That's His Lines. For Overlooked Headlines, I'm Jeff Bass, keeping you informed and inspired. Be blessed.
Thanks for joining us. We hope you've been informed and inspired. Like us, tell a friend, and connect with us via Facebook, YouTube, or email us at neveroverlooked@gmail.com. That's neveroverlooked@gmail.com. Check us out next time on Overlooked Headlines with Jeff Bass.